10 years later, look at how America's changed, and the system wants even more of those liberties. In fact, I'll tell you about a 60 Minutes piece I saw. I didn't know they re-air 60 Minutes on MSNBC that I saw Friday night. Unbelievable. I knew this was going on from documents, but I hadn't seen it. So I'm going to write a note. I'm going to cover that. I mean, it showed the training. They're telling cops, you will be attacked by terrorists. Every school will be attacked. We must have armed guards everywhere, in every mall, in every terrorists are coming and they're domestic. And they're teaching them it's not Al-Qaeda, it's patriots. And even 60 Minutes was saying it was out of control. 60 Minutes, man, they admit we have 30-something% unemployment in California, 20+% nationwide. They have a lot of anti-gun stuff. They're really weird, though, but they're so arrogant and into doing real reporting that sometimes they're actually honest. Really weird. Of course, they probably also know it was so over the top and ridiculous that they're teaching that, you know, every person will be attacked by terrorists, and there's terrorists under every table chewing at your feet, that to present you, to condition you to accept it, and they throw it in your face. But they were saying it's fear-mongering and crazy, and you've got a better chance of basically being killed by a honeybee. So I've got to give credit. It was amazing. And they were, well, I'll talk about it later. Let's go ahead and talk to John in Canada. John, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Honored to talk to you. I'll get right to it. I am in Canada, but I'm a dual citizen. I grew up in California. And it's kind of a two-part question. It's basically, we know that 9/11 was an inside job. We know that Kennedy was killed and there was a government coup. And we know that there was no provisions in the Constitution or Bill of Rights anywhere for this type of loss of our liberties. So at what point do we kind of move into the steps and the roles of our forefathers and kind of step up to this? And the second question is, or do we just always stand down and it's always just an information war and it's always just a war of the mind?
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
You've got to get enough people aware of things, because why do they teach the Army, if you're outnumbered in an indigenous population, hang a couple little kids and plant enemy artifacts at the site? The argument of the officer is, we don't want to kill these little kids, but if you don't kill a couple, the enemy's going to kill them all. End justifies the means. Do you understand, Captain? Yes, sir, I understand. And a lot of it's the most patriotic guys. He sits there and kills the little kids and hangs them up. I got to do this to beat the commies, because if I don't, they'll kill thousands. And of course, he doesn't understand the compartmentalization. And so what you've got to understand is, if you get, the globalists are masters at divide and conquer, co-opting, compartmentalization. They know cause and effect. They know, as they ban lemonade stands and garage sales and beat everybody up and televise it, a lot of people, as they cut, they're talking about completely getting rid of the 20-year military service people. They've got actuaries knowing, you know, however many percentage points are going to go postal and start killing people. Okay? And they're going to call that terrorism and say, see, the vets are the terrorist, and use the fear to clamp down on everything. So the last thing we want to do is get violent. Okay? We've got to sit there and not do what they think we're going to do and let their abuse get so horrible and just take it like Gandhi to the moment everybody gets it. Now, they're still going to stage stuff. That's why we've got to have our people, and this is what they're so mad about. And there's no going back. They've put their foot in the bear trap. Our people are everywhere. When the government gets the underwear bomber drugged out of his mind, disheveled, didn't know where he was, according to witnesses, they just take a drugged-out idiot and put him on a plane and then have a firecracker go off in his pants, so we've all got to be microwaved. When they stage that, okay, we've got people there watching. Stay there. I'm gonna let you finish, John, because we'll reintroduce your question and have you give me your response. Then I got to hurry. Daniel, John, Debbie, Jane, Angie, Nicholas, Robert, Kevin, Karen, Howard, and others. I want to talk to you straight ahead. Infowars.com, 9/11. Okay, we have that little 5-minute segment that I do that some stations don't carry. So if you just joined us, I was talking to John in Canada, and he said, look, we know there's been a military coup with Kennedy. We know there's foreign interests financing terrorists, staging events purely. There's fully manufactured. There's provocateur. There's patsy operations. There's different types of staged events. There is the real, pure terrorism. Very rare. It's really just asymmetrical, non-traditional warfare. Anybody that fights back against the tyranny is called a terrorist. That's why they're getting ready with the Tea Partiers and the gun owners. They sold those very people on giving up liberties and building a domestic secret police control grid, paramilitary system, in the name of fighting foreigners, knowing in their anthropology actuaries you would go along with it. The whole time it was for you. Okay, so that's what's... And I go back to Chuck Norris, Mr. Get the Muslims for 30 years in all his movies. Mr. We got to have these wars. But still a good guy, coming out and going, our government's running Al-Qaeda. Our government's helping Al-Qaeda, in a big editorial and quoting me. See, you've got to come to grips with it. It's not us against the Muslims. It's banks playing us off against each other, who then profit from it all. How are banks going to steal tens of trillions of dollars and get away with it and set up a police state and tax us also through military-industrial complex systems domestically? They're going to stage stuff. They're going to go finance groups that, in many cases, the cannon fodder doesn't even know it's been financed. Double agents, triple agents. We're fighting a very scientific evil. And they don't even have to control it all. They set things in motion knowing how humans operate. They war game it all out. All right, now, John, my point is we don't want to get violent because they've already done the algorithms and know the vets who they're telling they're getting ready to take their pension funds are going to get violent. They know that. They know that as the system pushes and pushes, people are going to get angry. That's going to now be called terrorism, okay? I've seen charges of people in fistfights being charged with terrorism now. So when you just let the tyrants run around and engage in their crimes, try to prosecute them, try to expose them, try to get good district attorneys to go after them, but offensive attacks are not the way to go. I'm always for defensively protecting yourself if a criminal of any stripe is in the wrong. Now, do you understand the strategy I'm talking about here? The globalists had to bomb their own Oklahoma City to make Bill Clinton look like a victim. Now we got White House memos saying a new 9/11 or Oklahoma City is the only thing that can save Obama. His advisors are coming to him saying, please pull the trigger. And I'm sure there's people above that who are getting ready for it. You can see the pre-programming to shift it over to domestic groups now. I mean, it's an advertising rollout. How do you know when a new Lexus is coming out? You see the ads for it. It's a full PR-driven system. They're getting ready right at the time they know that there's a crest of anger against tyranny politically to blow stuff up, to blame it on the political opposition, to then demonize the political opposition. Do you understand that?
I do see what you're saying, Alex. It's great to hear your point on it. And then the second part of that is, do we end up losing part of the republic? Is it like a cancer where if it grows in the stomach, eventually they have to take out the whole stomach? And do you see a future with 50 states united in liberty in the future? Or are we going to kind of lose some of this when eventually we do?
Look, John, America's been dead a long time, but it's not like a person. It's a spirit. It's an idea. It can be resurrected any time. We empower it. So America's already dead, brother. 50 states are already under federal control. The feds at the top are all agents of foreign banks. We've been hijacked. And it's only admitting just how far we've fallen. Then it's not a hope or a prayer. It's a guaranteed restoration. The minute we get wise, the minute we're not childlike and naive, is the minute the republic's back. I appreciate your call. Daniel in Louisiana, go ahead. You're on the air.
Alex, I was calling to see if you had any kind of time frame. I know it's not easy, but when the show might be getting on cable, and also to say that when it is on cable, will you show video footage of Building 7, show it side by side with known takedowns just to get it out there?
Of course I will. I've made a bunch of films. Friday's show, we did that. Look. To be clear, my TV show could already be on cable systems. It could already be on a Sky TV channel. I was offered over the years, I've been offered many times, hey, edit your daily radio show together with the camera shoots and do it. I even got calls from Sci-Fi Channel about it and just said, I'm not ready yet. I'm too busy, because you think you're going to reach a lot of people being on a channel like that. It's a big show that has 1 million viewers. I've got 3 million listeners a day now. So we're already reaching a bunch of people. There's this prestige about being on TV, but again, It's mainly going to be this satellite system, that satellite system, a couple 100,000 viewers there, a couple 100,000 there, regional cable systems. Some TV stations want it. I've got to put in the fiber optic upload system. It costs a bunch of money. I've got to hone the show. The show isn't ready, but yes, I will tell you, members are always going to get it and get the expanded thing. It's an hour some nights, 2 hours other nights, 30 minutes other nights. I've never done 30 minutes. Right now, I'm just trying things out. This is really beta. InfoWars Nightly News is in beta. And I'm trying to get it going as fast as I can. I'm not, my family's great, but it's starting to cause some problems. I'm getting home about 10 o'clock every night right now. So, yes, but I mean, does that answer your question?
Yeah, what excites me is the fact that if it is on TV, we got to come to you now. But if it's on TV, people might be channel surfing. And if that's in the intro or they're seeing that, they might just flip channels and see it side by side and bam.
Oh, no, there's no doubt we'll start on little systems and immediately that happens on every radio station we're on. The ratings only go up. Just they're usually little mom and pops, so they go from barely showing up to, wow, having a good audience. They've been putting us on big stations, and they're going from like number 3 to number 1 in places like Orlando. These instant people meters are really helping us because it actually shows what we're being listened to. Shows like Rush Limbaugh and stuff where it's just a name. Everybody's kind of heard it and lazily puts it in the diary. That's why all the radio stations started going Spanish a few years ago. Was because they did studies and found that for whatever reason it was mainly the immigrants and people that would fill out the diaries for the $5 or whatever, and then as soon as people meters came back in, you're seeing stuff switch back to English because there really wasn't that big of an audience. I mean, Arbitron diaries are a complete joke and always have been. I mean, if you've got a huge show, it is an indicator, but it's not to live and die by. These instant people meters. That's another thing entirely. And if we keep winning with these, they could game them or something. But the systems really do want to know. But you know what? YouTube, we've reached over 300 million people in the last couple years on YouTube alone. 300 million just on our channels. 300 million. So we're on the channel. The new channel is YouTube. Over half the video views online in the world are on YouTube. Does that answer your question, Daniel?
It does. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, sir. I think I got time to jam in one more. John in Michigan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Alex. Great to talk to you. I'll make it quick. I studied the Dmitry Kalazov videos. I'm sure you've seen those about the nuclear demolition of World Trade Center. There's only a problem of a psychological problem that people have with a nuclear device being activated in the city of New York. And I was wondering what your take is on that.
5 years ago, or 6, I guess time flies. I keep saying 5. Can't believe 10 years has gone by. I think it was about 6, 7 years ago. I saw online the radioactive isotope readings and thought they were fake. And I actually had to go join a major nuke monitoring site. I even had to subscribe. And sure enough, it was true. I mean, I spent like a week trying to ferret out if this was real. And it is true. Isotopes of an atomic blast went off the charts at ground zero. Now, some nuclear radiologists argued that those isotopes could have been released out of certain types of equipment, but that it was too high. But the evidence does point towards multiple mini atomic detonations. Just like they knew from Fukushima, independent scientists got the isotopes showing there had been fission explosions, and the MOX-3 plutonium reactor on that Monday after had blown. Now, for 3 months, Japan lied. It's now confirmed. They had a complete atomic explosion meltdown at the MOX-3, number 3 MOX reactor. And so, yes, but I don't even go there because you start getting into that, people just don't get handheld nuclear weapons. They don't even know about Davy Crockett's and shoulder-launched and frogs and things like that. Anything else, sir?
I appreciate it. Do you ever think about having him on as an interview, or is that too far?
No, that's a great idea. We'll try to get him on. Now with the Nightly News, we have even more time for guests as well. Every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central, prisonplanet.tv. We're simulcasting this radio show. This is a TV show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. More calls straight ahead.